Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the E Train Talks podcast. I'm E Train, and today I'm going to be interviewing the assistant librarian at Ishpeming Carnegie Public Library in Ishpeming, Michigan, Nicole Johnson. Nicole and I have met a few times on virtual book clubs held by the Ishpeming Carnegie Public Library. We read 2 books every month and discuss them at the book clubs. What's more fun than discussing books, right? Now, it's my honor to welcome Nicole Johnson. Nicole, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to talk about libraries and books. And yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming. So, my first question for you is what is your favorite genre of books?
The hardest question we're starting off with, but it's a really great question. So for me, is I will really read from any genre of books, from mysteries to historical fiction. However, my favorite kind of book is one that is set in like a realistic setting, but features a little bit of magic that is maybe unexplained or just something that's a little bit off about the world, but it provides a really interesting base. So a good example of this is one called Alaxaway by Darcy Little Badger. It is set in an alternate Earth-like setting, and it features a ghost dog. So I really, really love that book.
Okay, well, she's a librarian, and now I recommend that book. I haven't tried it, and I might review it in the future. Who knows? Now, my
Mhm.
next question is have you always been an avid reader?
So I have ever since I was a young kid, I would obsess over like the scholastic book orders and the book fairs at school, and I'd always order like the tallest stack of books that I could. But in middle school, there was actually a time when I didn't read for a while. I don't know, I couldn't pick up anything that I really liked. So it wasn't until like my freshman year of high school that I picked up the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. It was really popular when I was in school, and that is the book that kind of got me back into reading. So I've been a reader ever since then.
Those are some pretty good series. I haven't read them, but I highly recommend them to you guys watching. My next question is when did you decide you wanted to become a librarian?
So the thought of working in a place surrounded by books has always seemed like the dream. I didn't know that it was a real possibility until I started volunteering at my local library. So I highly recommend if you can to go out and volunteer at your local library. It's an awesome experience. So it allowed me the chance to interact with librarians, and I learned that the job actually requires a master's degree in library science, which I'm currently working on right now. So it is nearly complete, and I love everything that I've been learning, and I'm excited to continue working in libraries.
Well, I hope you were able to achieve your goal of getting the master's degree in libraries, and I hope that you can become like not just an assistant librarian, but the librarian at the Ishpeming Carnegie Public Library or wherever you become a librarian in the future.
Thank you. I hope so too.
Okay, what is your favorite part of being a librarian?
Oh, I think I have too many, but I really love working with the kids, teens, and adults that come into the library. It's really fun to interact and talk about books and hopefully find them their next great read. So it's an awesome feeling to send them on their way with a stack of books that you think that they'll enjoy. And it is also really fun to sign people up for library cards for the first time. It's really exciting to share like what libraries are all about, especially if it's somebody's first time being in the building. So that's I just like working with people.
Well, it's definitely something that you have to be good at when you are a librarian, and you've also recommended a lot of great books to me, and I'm so grateful for that and for you.
Oh, thank you.
So my question number 5 is do you prefer audiobooks or paper books and why?
I do prefer paper books. I've tried to give audiobooks a chance, and I think that they're really awesome and they're a really great way to like read and everything. But it's just for me, I like sitting down with a physical book, and there's something really relaxing about that. How about you?
Well, I agree. I've just never been able to get into an audiobook or just a book on a Kindle or something. Like having the physical book, it's a different experience. Like it kind of feels like you're reading the real thing, not just being on a tablet. Like it's kind of the point of reading for me is just I love reading and getting off electronics is always a plus. But when you're just reading on a Kindle, like it's like you're on electronics again. So, now
Yeah, it's
my
nice to take a break.
yeah. My next question is with so many pieces of writing like books and the news now online, what do you think the future of libraries will look like?
So I think that libraries have always been able to adapt really well to the changing times of really anything. So I think that we'll see more services in libraries that go beyond just offering book collections. I think that books will remain a very core part of libraries, but I do think that there'll be other events and just different community spaces that are available within libraries. And I think we're already seeing that a little bit. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds.
Well, I'm excited too because local libraries are basically they're a pillar of communities, and without them, where would we get our best books? And if we can't find them on Amazon, they're sold out. Where do we go? We go to our local libraries. So, if you weren't a librarian, what job would you want to have?
So this is another tough one. I feel like the easy answer for me would be to be a bookseller or have another job involving books. But if I don't pick an easy answer, I always thought growing up that I'd be a teacher. So I guess librarian is kind of similar to teacher in a way. So I think that I'd probably be a teacher.
Well, teachers, they are very helpful, and without teachers, we wouldn't be able to learn how to read. I think you'd be a great teacher. You're teaching me about the best books, and you've been a teacher of how to find the best books for a lot of kids. So I think you're already a great teacher. Now my final question. I think that this is probably the toughest. Is if you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only bring one book, what book would it be? And don't say how to get a book on how to get off of a deserted island. It needs to be like a book that you love.
Okay. Oh boy. This is the hardest question. Does an anthology of all my favorite books count? I don't think so, right?
I mean, if it's like you can have a whole series, like if it's like one of those collections of a whole series, but it can't just be. It has to be the book that you choose or a series that you choose.
Hmm, I think I would choose. What would I choose? I think it might be Alatsue, the book I mentioned right at the beginning, because I just think that is one of those books that you can read and get something new from each time you read it. So that is probably what I would pick. But if I was going to pick a middle grade book, a middle grade favorite of mine is Starfish by Lisa Phipps, which E Train and I read. I think that was our very first book club. So I'd like to bring that one too.
Well, I would bring the Percy Jackson series. Not only is it my favorite book series, but it's really long, so I'll be able to pass a lot of time with that great book series. It's very entertaining, and I couldn't stop reading it when I first started it. Hi, Rick Jordan, if you're listening to this. Um, And thanks, Nicole. That's Nicole Johnson, assistant librarian at the Ishpeming Carnegie Public Library. Nicole, I want to thank you again for joining me today and answering my questions regarding your position at the library. I look forward to our next book club. And listeners, if you're interested in joining Nicole's book clubs or other virtual functions at our library, check out the Ishpeming Carnegie Public Library Facebook page. Thank you for listening, everybody, and I'll see you next time. E Train out.